to the inaugural podcast. This is just going to be a podcast about the Israeli 40K community, and we want to talk about how things are going to work and improve to get more people involved and to get more transparency. And this is just one of the tools that we're gonna use. So you are the star guest, numero uno, as we would call it, the captain of the WTC Team Israel. So welcome.
Thank you, Hilton. It's amazing to be here. And what I would like to mention immediately is that our community here in Israel has matured, yeah, enough that we're starting, I call it sideline activity, yeah, or kind of meta activity, yeah, like this podcast and the Concilium website and things like that. So it's a like clear sign of like growing and mature community. So going forward, I'm pretty sure we will see much more interesting
Yeah,
things popping up around.
definitely, definitely. Yeah, just in the time that just in the time that I've started, so many new faces and so many like new people that are like interested to get involved in like the competitive side and to play more games. So I think we're in a good place at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. Just if you notice around in the last events, you already see people with the team t-shirts. Yeah, and I'm not talking about Team Israel right now. I'm talking about like our local teams. Yeah, that is like Burning Man, which I'm part of. Your team, the Dice Hard. Yeah, also Friendly Fire guys had very nice t-shirts. So all of this, extra effort you take, and not really just coming and playing toy soldiers. Yeah, so creating the aura of it, yeah, so that
Yeah, there's a
people
lot more
on the
atmosphere.
sidelines can also, have a look and enjoy. That's
Yeah.
superb.
Yeah, it's always cool to see the people in like the team shirts and so it's definitely a cool thing to see that there's more atmosphere, especially in the teams event. I mean, that's how I really got in like involved with all of you guys and meeting all of you guys was in like the team competition, which is a very, very cool part of it's like another subsector within the 40K competitive scene is like the teams events. And it just makes things a much more fun when you've got other people to play with, you know?
Yeah, and I think this one fact which lots of people around will not know unless I voice it over right now. So for the upcoming team tournament at Geek Shelter, the tickets were sold out in 1 hour.
Yeah, it was
So
crazy.
Dima had to open up like two extra spaces to
Yeah.
to let the teams join. So this is crazy.
Yeah, yeah. That actually just shows like the amount of uh like like the amount of like what the good that's going on in the community at the moment, that people are like wanting to get involved, and even like behind the scenes you can see it's not just Dima like putting on an event or Sagi or somebody like by themselves, two people busy trying to like put on an event, but you can see everybody's like trying to help. And this is what the great thing about the community is now, is that we there seems to be like a little bit of more people coming in that also want to help, that want to build, that want to like take it forward. You know, it's not just on one person's shoulders.
No, absolutely. Because one person's shoulders, it's unbearable.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's too much. It's too much. So let's go on to a little bit of history of El Capitan. Like, how did you get started in this crazy hobby of playing with plastic toy soldiers?
So yeah, maybe I'll start with the shock content. I think I bought my first toy soldiers in 2001, and I'm not mistaken. It's
Wow.
2001.
Okay.
And that was long, long ago. I think in Warhammer Timeline, it was just before the release of third edition for Warhammer 40K, and that was sixth edition release date for the Warhammer Fantasy, which is not existent anymore, but that was my game of choice at those times. Yeah. And frankly speaking, I was a young and reasonably shy guy. So over the next, I think, year and a half, I just, collected the soldiers and painted them. And we played with my brother on our carpet in the room with actually paper cutouts or something like that. So it was like as basic as it could be. Yes. These days, I see new people coming to the hobby in a much, much faster
Yeah,
way.
yeah.
Sometimes even like a whirlwind, which Sagi is.
Yeah, the Sagis of the world, definitely.
Yeah, yes, yes. So over this, it's more than 20 years right now of myself going to the hobby. It has evolved for me several times. Yeah, so it was a period where I was more like a fun player, where just enjoyed whatever toy soldiers I could place on the table. I also had a competitive period. Let's call it the first competitive period. Yeah, it's somewhere around
Version one of Andrei.
yeah, yeah, because it was Warhammer Fantasy, so it was somewhere around 2008, 2011 years. So in those days, we actually mastered the game well enough to take the third place on the ETC. So in those days it was called not WTC, not World Team Championship, but European Team Championship. Although Team States was there. Yeah, and then I think when GW dropped Warhammer Fantasy out of the window, I switched to other game systems, explored those like Mali 4, War Machine, Guild Ball. It's actually been resurrected lately. The Guild Ball, it's a nice, cozy game, like beer hammer game, I would say. Yeah, and then when I moved back to Israel, I was in a kind of void. And those of you, dear listeners, who had similar experience, yeah, in your lifetime, you might understand. Yeah, you come into a new country, you kind of need to find new friends, need to find your place here, need to, rebuild all your life effectively. Yeah, and Warhammer came out to be a kind of, saver for me. Yeah, because I think Dima opened Geek Shelter around like 2 or 3 months after I did Aliyah. Yeah. So I just I already had some friendships which allowed me to even find out about this event. Yeah.
Okay.
And, I came to Dima's store and got acquainted to him. Talked a little and then asked like how can I help with the store. And I mean, this was from a guy who's like needed help himself at the moment. But I think that's the spirit of the community that we should upkeep. So basically, what Dima said was like, buy miniatures. This is what currently is needed because I mean, this business was started with like high risk profile. Like it was not clear if it will go up. It like if there will be enough demand and so on. So that's basically what I did. So I started collecting Necrons, and then over now 3.5 years, yeah, yeah, I'm here.
And it's
Looking,
a very, very beautifully painted army, I have to say. It's one of the nicest painted armies that we have in the that we see in the competitive community for sure.
oh, thank you. No, I mean, I'm obligated now to send some photos so you can attach to
Yeah,
this.
yeah,
To
we'll have
this
to get a few photos.
record. Sure.
Yeah. So basically, like your like the real competitive push, because you've been on the WTC Team Israel since the beginning, or how did that transition? Like, how did you arrive in Israel and then like move towards the competitive scene of getting towards WTC and learning about it and getting on the team?
That might have been a fun story. So, but like conscious of time, and it might not be, really.
Nah, we're good.
And
We're good.
fun.
If you wanna tell good stories, I think the community that's what we're here for.
Okay, let me try to. So, somewhere after Dima opened Geek Shelter, there was a tournament, a Warhammer 40K tournament, which he organized. And at that point, I didn't have an army yet, so I was just a visitor or like observer. So I noticed some guy who was wearing a t-shirt, and this t-shirt was special in two ways for me, actually. One thing, it mentioned some event called WTC, which was held in Mechelen. And for me, Mechelen is a special city because I spent almost 4 years working there for one of my projects. So
You were working in, so you were working.
Mechelen,
Ah,
exactly
really?
Mechelen. Yeah, so
Okay.
I spent there like almost 4 years for a project, and of course it caught my eye immediately. Like I was wondering, like what is like WTC in Mechelen? I mean, I know it's actually a very small city. It's
Yeah, like
70,000 people. Yeah, I mean it's not really a small city in terms of like what you can do there, but probably we'll talk about it a little later. And the second thing I noticed, it was a small comic strip which was under the tagline. Yeah, so there was a comic strip about the 23 crews which kind of blocked the table. Yeah, it's a famous story,
okay.
which actually happened in 2008. Yeah, with uh, I, can I call it teammate? Because we had the guy was from Team Russia, but he was playing 40K while my team was playing Warhammer Fantasy, but it happened with him. So for those who don't know, he had an army of white scars who were completely arriving like using reserves or deep strike rule on the table. Yeah. And he was facing Tau. And then basically, what happened, the Tau player had a unit of 20 something crude, which were infiltrating.
Huh.
And the guy just didn't think about it. Yeah. So he said, okay, I'm starting my full army in reserve. So
What?
what the other guy did, he just basically blocked the table like across with crudes.
Just
So,
23. Okay.
so there was exactly zero room for the opponent to arrive.
Wow.
That was the fastest ever game of Warhammer.
Wow.
Didn't even start effectively.
And that was the last time it happened.
I guess so. I mean, because the event became so famous. I mean, guys even did a comic strip. I mean, I have the original photo of the event. I
Oh,
mean,
really? Okay.
it's like old one paper photo. I mean, I of course I scanned it,
Yeah.
but the guy is standing there like really, really disappointed, and there's a judge checking the rules because like it was like no one knew what to do. Yeah, like if it's
Okay.
like even a legal situation, like what happens? But,
And he
but
just flooded the board.
yeah, yeah. So it was like immediate win. But this is what I saw on the t-shirt, yeah, of the guy, and I just walked up to him and talked to him. Do you know who the guy was?
I can probably guess it might have been
Yeah, you
Dov.
should. You should know that was Sergei
Ah, it
Park.
was Sergey. Okay.
So it turned out he went there for WTC as the like mercenary, yeah, just for the experience. And then he came back like super excited about the whole thing. And I think this is when it all really triggered. Yeah, because that year was the first year for Israeli WTC team to go to WTC. Yeah, and I was like proudly part of that team.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
No,
So
so you basically started with the team and like when it started to go to WTC.
yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So Sergey was the tower player or the one that got blocked?
Oh, Sergey was none of those because
Ah, he was just at the tournament. Okay, I
yeah,
thought.
he just got this T-shirt and he didn't even know
Ah, okay.
like the original story. I told
Okay.
him because
Okay.
like as Sergey told me in 2008 he was not even playing Warhammer yet.
Wow. Okay. Sweet.
Yeah.
So basically, we've now on to like WTC. How we basically came back with the best result ever this year for Team Israel. And I think we've even maybe like moved up to the next pod. So how did it go this year? How was the WTC?
Oh, how much time do we have? Half an
Uh,
hour, 2 days, 3 days, a week?
I'll go
Yeah.
get another coffee.
So we had 13 games of Warhammer in those 6 days.
7 days? 6 days. Wow.
Days. Yeah, 2 days for War Masters and then 4 days for WTC. So 13 games of Warhammer. Frankly speaking, this is 13 games which are at a very high competitive level, high like pressure in terms of uh I would say emotionally, yeah, and it's never an easy game. Yeah. Just since the level of opponents is
Yeah,
world class.
it's the top of the top getting to, so you don't, you even from round one you're playing against like tough opponents, eh?
Absolutely. And round one is the worst, I will tell you. But yeah, actually in both events, round one, I got tier one opponents,
Oh,
which was like great on one hand
it's
because
a
it was
great experience though because you
yeah,
get to
that's the
play
way you
against like,
learn.
yeah, the players that you hear about and you finally get to play against them. It's that's what's really cool about the hobby, I guess.
Absolutely, absolutely. But what I must underline is that like both of these guys had like such a great attitude.
Mm.
Like with the Belgian guy, we were like in touch the whole 6 days after our game. Yeah,
Ah,
when
cool.
it was my first game with him. Like very positive, very supportive, very nice. So I mean, we ended up like exchanging T-shirts, even if our teams didn't play at all. But the guy was like saying, "Ah, I have a T-shirt for you. Like I just saved it."
Ah, very cool.
I did enjoy our game, and I did as well. So that's actually part of the ritual and WTC exchanging T-shirts, exchanging dice. So, but this is huge. I mean, emotional, like this positive emotional is great for all these games. But it's super taxing
Mm.
on your mind. So this is this
So
is
it's
what
just
you
like, so every day you're playing against top component, like basically you guys also in the, you played Team USA that were one of the top contenders this year in your first round. And I think in the end, in the pod phase, you played like the top of each tier. You ended up playing like the top ranked opponents. I think that also ended up
kind of.
happening.
Kind of.
So,
So we had states which landed third. Yeah.
mhm.
We had Denmark, which landed exactly at top of tier two. Yeah, we have Bulgaria, which we made in the end. So we are placed higher than Bulgaria.
Wow, nice.
Yeah, but Bulgaria is not the team you can, joke with.
Yeah.
Have some very nice players.
No, the cool thing is also that one of the, it's like a game of 40K basically. It's never over until like the last dice roll. And even though you guys had a tough start, you ended up turning it around and getting like the best result in for Israel like in the WTC since we've been participating. So
Absolutely,
it always
absolutely.
shows
I'll give
like,
you an example. I think in 2 or 3 rounds, yeah, we were like explicitly waiting for the last game to conclude, and that last game mattered like between win, draw, lose, yeah, situation, and like one of those was like the guy was losing, our guy was losing, yeah, but he had to get at least 3 points for us to be, happy. Yeah. So in the team environment, even if you're losing heavily, you have to fight for like every point because like losing 17-3 and then 18-2 could make a huge difference for the team. Yeah.
yeah, that's like, maybe we'll go over that. We can go over like, because the teams game is completely different from like a singles game because each player brings like a tool, and at the end of the day, each player also like their points count, even if it's the difference between like a 20-0 and a 19-1 can be the difference between the team like drawing or winning or pulling a win to a draw, lose to a draw or something like that, eh?
Yeah, yeah, I agree. It's hugely different, especially in a way that with the team environment, you can like deliberately avoid bad matchups.
Okay. And one of the things like that I did, like talking to you guys as you came back, there was the thing about coaches, which I think is also something maybe we can highlight to the community and how important the coaches was and like how you guys maybe struggled a little bit without the coach.
Yes, we like desperately missed at least one guy to help us around. So for those who are not aware, the coach is officially part of the team on WTC. Uh, Technically, you are allowed to have as many coaches as you want. So you want like 100 people, but only four of those are allowed into the gaming area. Yeah, so not to overcrowd the whole thing. And the coaches, they have effectively three roles. The first role, how stupid it sounds, but it's like super important, is the meager water boy. Because in all those games, you like really have to keep yourself hydrated. Yeah. And this year it was very hot at the venue just because it was the temperature high in those days. So coaches from other teams were kind enough to help us as well, like
Uh,
providing water refill and so on. So this is just important for you to be in shape, yeah, and continue your games. We saw that in our like seventh game, our opponents were just exhausted. And
wow.
I think this is the reason they lost. Like
Mm.
one of the key reasons is they were just exhausted by that time. Yeah, so we kind of out how you can say it.
Stamina, yeah, your stamina was just
Yeah, our stamina was just better. Yeah. So this is one thing. The second thing, coach is responsible for helping the player. Uh, like if the player needs to go away from the table, he can, just keep there, like observing what happens, right? And at the end of each uh, turn, yeah, he can kind of check the result, which the players are recording, and also ask the player for his, forecast. Yeah.
okay.
How other people in the teams do that? Basically, at the start of the game, they will be saying, "Okay, I'm going for like a draw. I'm going for a small win, or maybe a big win already." And then somewhere by turn three, they are typically giving the exact result they're looking at,
Okay.
which is interesting. It's another dimension of play. Like myself, I would like on turn three. I would rarely try to guess the result. Yeah. So rather the range, it would be like plus or minus 5 points. But what I saw, the guys are, kind of trying to predict the exact result. And this is important for the third role. Yeah. Because the coaching staff now get together and they check the predictions which the player have. Yeah. What's the total outcome, like forecasted outcome is. And based on that, they are able to give feedback to the players, like play safe, play aggressively, yeah, or like
Push.
tr try to get points at all costs and so on. Yeah, so this kind of advice is allowed. I mean, there is even a special section in WTC rules which describes, in detail what is allowed and not allowed. Yeah,
Hmm.
because the coach cannot give any kind of tactical advice. So
Ah, you can only just tell. Okay.
he can say like for example just push for points, but he cannot say like move your silent king forward to get as many points as you can.
So
So
he can
this
just
kind
give like he can just say what's needed, but you still need to do
of
the actual action of what needs to be done.
yes,
Hmm.
yes.
I think it's
So
also important to say like that the players are not allowed to talk to each other during that's also why the coach is important, eh? Because the players are not allowed to talk to each other during the tournament, like during the game.
it's not explicitly forbidden as far as I remember. Yeah, but frankly speaking, you don't have a chance to.
Ah,
Even WTC games have, I think they have an extra hour of time. So like it's a total of almost 4 hours are available.
hmm.
Uh, it's rare where you have like a lot of extra time left by the end of the game.
Wow. Okay. So you guys came back successfully. One of the things that was mentioned, or one of the things that happened, was longtime coach Dor stepped down, and you guys voted for the new captain, and you were chosen as the new captain of Team Israel. So maybe let's delve into that a little bit. Like, how was that process? How do you feel about it?
Mhm.
Uh,
So actually, we have a formal manifest. Let's call it manifest. I'm not sure if this is the right word, but manifest of the team, where we agree that current and former members of the team participate in the like captain selection process. Yeah.
mhm.
So basically, unless some very, very, edge cases, the new captain is expected to be from the like previous team members. Yeah. That is for the sake of continuity. Yeah. And also there is you have to be to WTC at least once to fully understand the scope of the event and actually the scope of preparation needed. Yeah.
Yeah.
So of course there is an edge case where the current team will just say, okay, we're done. So other people are free to step up as the captain even without like WTC experience. This is fine. Yeah. But as long as current team is, persistent, yeah, would like to have this continuity. So this year, Dor decided to step down from the captaincy in favor of his family affairs and real life.
Little Liam.
Little Liam, yeah, so which is totally understandable, totally appreciated as well. Yeah, so we need our like next generation of players, in a good shape.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But yeah, and through this year, we collectively as a team understood that also dropping the captain's responsibility on one man's shoulder is not really a good idea. Yeah, it just, uh, person will just burn out.
Too much pressure, yeah.
Yeah, and we decided that we will create a leadership team where I will be named as a captain. Yeah, and we'll represent our team and our community in front of the WTC organization. And then both Sagi and Sergey will join me to manage and ensure all our like internal affairs preparing for this year. Yeah, will be executed. Yeah, and we also have always a fallback. Like if Andres has some real life problems at any moment, then there is
Yeah.
always at least one of those two guys who can step up and keep it going.
Hmm.
So we found out that several teams did exactly the same move, like our good friends Team Canada. Yeah, just a week after we did it, announced the same. So they're going for a leadership team instead of like single-handed captaincy. Yeah, I mean there's always a named captain, which is really needed for WTC organization purposes. But it feels like we're on the right path and we're like, kind of spearheading the thinking of like how the WTC should be organized.
Yeah.
But that's frankly speaking, lots of work to be done going forward. Yeah, kind of structure this effort. And what I really want to achieve this year is also the transparency around the team, so that our Israeli community would be able to follow what we do, understand what we do, yeah, and have at least a basic feeling that they know why we do that or we don't do another thing and so on.
So yeah, so what do you see like then in the next year? Like as the captain, what getting to WTC 2026, what is your like what do you see happening in the next year? Like give us like a you don't have to obviously go down into the details now. I'm sure that we'll get on the podcast again in the future because I already know that you've broken it down into seasons. So maybe give us like a general overview of how you see the next year going for to get us to WTC
Mhm.
2026.
So the vision is twofold. Yeah, one part of it is so-called natural, just because the time goes in a like certain kind of
Certain rhythm.
yeah, certain rhythm. Thank you. And the other part is my vision. So I actually worked with the leadership team already on the baseline, which is just three simple statements regarding what we want to achieve this year. Yeah. And the first among them, and the most important, is our target is to represent Israeli competitive community in front of the world. Yeah.
Okay.
The pinnacle event is, of course, the WTC itself, but also through the year, we might be, and I'm pretty sure we will be attending several events outside of Israel. Um, then, of course, we participate in various online events. Yeah, and on top of that, we just, we're just people and we're communicating with other people. So this is the most important thing, like representing ourselves, our community in a good way. The second thing, we want to try and beat the result of the last year, which I must say is not an easy thing. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and as for any good placing in like any tournament, also involves a fair share of just plain luck. But like the target should be ambitious. Yeah. So
Absolutely.
hence we can try and stretch to reach it. Yeah. Okay. And the third thing is also very simple and straightforward. We want to promote competitive Warhammer 40K inside Israel. Yeah. We already talked today like how popular the team event is going to be. Yeah. And let's see if we can still move forward.
A few more.
So
Few more.
yeah, we
Yeah, we
want to be
actually, in a
ambassador.
month's time, this actually might be a good time also just to mention that, like in a month's time, we're going to have, I think, Israel's first GT in Timorim. So that's like within a month, we're going to be having that. So that'll be like a 2-day event. It's not for the teams, obviously, but it's still going to be a nice big event. And I think it's cool to see these types of events also actually on the calendar now.
Absolutely. I mean, the GT is again an important milestone in community development. And for those who are not aware of the term, the GT is a two-day tournament. Yeah, so there's typically 5 games there. In some cases where there's a lot of players, there will be 6 games. Or I haven't heard about GTs with like 8 to 9 games. But that means there's going to be like 200, 300 players there. But we're not there yet.
We'll get there. We'll get there.
Yeah. But GT, the important thing is it's a different type of competition where the last 2 or 3 games will be really top level, a real fight for the prize, and the winner, GT winner, fully deserved it.
Yeah.
Yeah. While with the 1 day events, it's a little randomness, yeah, and
A little bit of luck involved. So yeah, there is a
absolutely, absolutely, yeah. So GT is much better, way to show the real skill levels of the players.
cool, man. So we've got the next year. Where do you see us? Where do you see like double 40K in like the next 5 years? Where would you like to see like Israel with in the next 5 years, like as a big like shooting for the stars type of thing?
That's probably a bit of a long shot to look at 5 years, but if if we talk about 3 years, which for me is the timeline, also for the WTC team for like you know, a good timeline to have some like certain achievements as a target. Yeah, because 1 year is typically, it's a try or fail. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
With 2 or 3 years, you can establish organization and process and flow which works. So after 3 years, I really want us to be top of tier three team.
Okay. Top of tier three. Nice.
Top of tier three team,
Okay.
yes, with the steady supply of players. So basically, I would love, yeah, that we have 16 WTC level, like in terms of skill and competitive capabilities. So 16 WTC level players, those who form the bulk of the team. Yeah. And then for the actual event, we would have, yeah, like not really the strongest of the 16, but the strongest combination of these
Mm-hmm.
16, with the other guys supporting the preparation and also joining us for like coaching and help for the tournament. Yeah, that will be a very good state. Yeah, and if it can, afterwards go like for the next 3 years or whatever, I would really consider my like personal target achieved at that
Nice.
point.
Nice, nice. So we've got a few questions from the community. So I'll maybe just shoot these to you. I think we've actually touched on the first one already about transparency and like the WTC not getting enough publicity. People would like to
Uh,
see more reels and photos, photos from the event, and like a little bit of text on the things. Are there any plans to actually go in this? I mean, obviously this podcast is maybe one of them, but are there any plans to like take steps in this direction?
uh, yes, and this is not the first year we're talking about that. But let's be open on this. So I personally have the Patreon blog where I try to do the coverage of the events where I'm attending. But this is so-called post-mortem. So even for WTC, I was able to write up about the War Master event, but not yet about WTC itself. Yeah, so the whole thing, it takes quite a lot of time. I think the Master event took me like 6 to 8 hours of write up,
Oh,
to prepare, like, edit it a little bit and so on. Uh, there's a lot of things to talk about. Yeah, so you have to also, cut it to manageable pieces and so on. And going forward, I think the only way we can achieve better like publicity is if we have a dedicated person or like several like working on that. Because frankly speaking, during my games, I like occasionally even forget that I need to take any kind of photos. Yeah,
yeah, I understand this. I've even got, I know that you like the pen and paper approach, but in the application, there's even like the remind me to take photos. And it's like, okay, I'm playing the game, you're in the middle of the game. So yeah, I completely understand that.
absolutely, absolutely. So you have to be focused on the game. So like publicity is another job, yeah, in the team. And actually, for this year, and I can catch you on this podcast, yeah, because I asked you, Hilton, to help us with the publicity through the preparation phase. Yeah, you're already doing a great job, and this podcast is another step to make it, more transparent and closer to everyone, to give a chance and actually a kind of a window of opportunity to ask questions, yeah, and get in touch with the team. Yeah, but through the event itself, I must say the event has a very good coverage already itself. Yeah,
Mhm.
so this year it has been 8 different streams happening from the event. Also, people were doing podcasts, discussions, and so on available in the internet. Of course, since Israel is just a tier 4 team, we never got a focus. Yeah, even in
Oh, you
the
guys were in the background in the last game. You guys were on table two. So we got to see you in the background. So that was
yeah,
pretty
yeah,
cool.
you could see our backs. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I was kind of hoping that we might get a little bit of, spotlight when we played States, but this year Team States were super, let's say, in a super covered mode. They actually didn't publish any of the game results until the very end of the round. Yeah,
Mm.
and they through the pod phase, I think they explicitly asked organizers that they don't wish to be on stream.
Oh, really?
Yes, yes, and I think that was mainly because they were kind of scared of exposing any, secret tech that they prepared for the stronger teams.
Okay. I guess it is. That's also another aspect to take. When you're at the top, I guess there's also different things that you need to take into account. So,
Oh, that makes sense. I mean, my personal opinion, that's a little too much of the conspiracy there. Yeah, but yeah, it makes sense. I mean, logically.
yeah, yeah. You get a choice, I guess. So let's say like you're an active player participating in tournaments. Where do people where do people actually apply to take part in the national team?
Um, I have an easy answer to this question and a complex one. So let me do an easy answer. Yeah, so I just named a leadership team for this year, which is myself, Sergey, and Sagi. So anyone who is interested can just, approach any of us, yeah, in the Warhammer 40K competitive chat, yeah, that we have on WhatsApp. Or, I mean, I don't want to expose any of the contact details like publicly, yeah, like super publicly, yeah. But it's very easy, and I hope Hilton, you can attach the link to this chat
Yeah, I
uh,
will. I'll
later
touch.
on. Yeah, and just go into the chat, ask around for Andrei, Sergey, yeah, and we'll just talk to you, find out your like motivation, expectation, give you advice, and so on. The complex answer. The complex answer is that very few people are really ready for the WTC. And this is what I already mentioned regarding the captaincy. Yeah, we really expect a person to be there for at least one WTC beforehand. Yeah,
Hmm.
but the whole endeavor starts much, much earlier. Yeah, so if you really see yourself as like part of the team in some near or distant future, there's a path you should be taking. Yeah, it's not, of course, like super defined, like you do A, B, C, and D, and you're there. Yeah, it's more about getting certain experiences, yeah, which prepare you for the just the level of the game, yeah, and level of preparation and level of really mental readiness that you need to be successful at WTC. Yeah. So if you would ask to like just name a few of the things on this path, I would say that of course, competitive play, and this is something we can all help you with, as a community and as a WTC team. Second is participation in the WTC team preparation process here, like through the year. I can't I can't say that going to some tournament outside of Israel is, fully mandatory, but it gives you understanding of, traveling to the tournament, the things you need to do, the needs you kind of have to prepare for that, and also just, talk with other people, check your English level, check your competitive level, and so on. So this is highly recommended. Yeah. And that next level is there's quite some team tournaments that are happening.
Okay.
We already mentioned the team environment is different from the solos tournament, and we do a lot to give this like to make this feeling available here in Israel with the team tournaments. There's also some idea we're currently working with the leadership team to give those people who want to be like team candidates this year a feeling what it means to play WTC 8th. Yeah.
Mm.
So as soon as we have any, uh, kind of tangible detail, we will share with the community. I think it will be a really kind of small event that we will organize.
Nice. So, like the next question basically falls into that. Like you've mentioned, like that you need to train. What is actually like the free, like how much do you actually need to prepare for? Like it's a big tournament. What is the frequency that you're going to have to play and like you to get to a level of competency for the WTC?
Ooh, years.
Yes.
Yeah, years. Yeah, but frankly speaking, the learning curve is very specific. Yeah, because up to a certain point, you just have to play many games with various opponent scenarios. Yeah, because part of the story is, of course, knowing your opposition, knowing how your army is expected to play with that. Yeah, knowing the expected result. And as I mentioned, in the team tournaments, you don't have to win everything. Yeah, and you don't have to crush your opponent every time. Yeah, it really depends on your team role. And sometimes, going for 5 points is already very good for the team. Yeah.
Hmm.
So you have to know your opponents, you have to know how to play with them, and you kind of what are the caveats and specifics of each matchup. Yeah, this is very important knowledge. But then at some point, you have to change your approach like significantly. Yeah, and play out certain very specific matches and play out them in a kind of coaching manner. So you're not really playing the full game. Yeah,
Hmm.
you do deployment, talk through with your opponent. Is it a good deployment? What's going to happen next? How you're going to move? What is your like benefit or what are your mistakes on this deployment? Then immediately you adjust this deployment to a better one. Yeah, and then you play
Hmm.
out the first turn and repeat the same process. Like what
Okay.
did you do good? What did you do wrong? Did the dice were like as expected? If there was some spike, um, it might be, also good to kind of roll back this, yeah,
Hmm.
use the better results. So you need to build a very, detailed kind of decision tree for each of your turns, yeah, and do it in the interactive way.
Nice.
Just for example, what we did with Sergey last year in front of one of the tournaments, we got together for an evening and we set up a table for game one. I mean, the maps were predefined for this tournament. We simulated deployment. Then we immediately reset to game two and we did it again, like simulate deployment for two. Yeah, and of
Okay.
course discussing like how are you going to move, what happens if you get turn one, if what happens if you go second, and so on and so on. So we did that for 5 games. Oh no, that was of course a small tournament, so 3 games. We did that for 3 games. We talked through the whole thing, and I think we spent like 3 to 4 hours overall for that. But that was a huge boost for
Wow.
the result. Just because you know how you deploy, what you do afterwards. Yeah, we found some very interesting deployment patterns where it's kind of, an aggressive pattern where if you get the first turn, you're golden because
Hmm.
you like take half of the table off your opponent and kind of jail him. If you don't, you're not super exposed. So of course you kind of expose certain elements of your army, but whatever goes at them and even like kills them just gets destroyed as a like as an answer. So this is really the next level because typical deployment that people do, oh yeah, I want to deploy everything
This
that is
map, that's
safe
map,
and
this
will
map.
not be like if I lose turn one, will not be attacked. So
So it's actually thinking about the game a little bit more.
Yes, yes, because this game is not like, move forward, kill your opponent. It's
No.
about setting up certain configurations on the table. It's about trading pieces. Yeah, it's about like baiting your opponent for, let's call it, stupid moves or not so stupid moves, but you can, get advantage about on those. And yeah, if you do it at least for the deployment, you're already one level up. If you
Wow.
can do that for like 5 turns of the game, you are like Team France level of experience.
3 years
Yeah.
time, 3 years time.
Yeah. By the way, Team France have won WTC this year and also the previous year. So they are the reigning champions. And yeah, it would be very interesting to see if someone can beat them next year, given their level of organization,
Yeah.
because it's like at the level of, International Space Station
Yeah.
compared to us.
Sweet. So basically, we've got an idea of like how to get into the team, what it actually takes. It's not just I want to go to WTC, play a few games. There's actually like a lot of thinking into it, especially if we want to improve on last year's results. So basically, once people have maybe like the team has been formalized. When are the applications submitted within Israel? And like how long is this reviewed for?
Okay. So maybe you can hear yourself like being contradictory. Yeah, in a way that, yeah, on one hand, there's like superb level of preparation experience is needed for the WTC. But on the other hand, we're really welcoming all of you to participate in the preparation process because I already mentioned that it's multi-year process. Yeah, so you have to gradually improve yourself. Of course, there might be some, hidden gems in the community, people who can dedicate uh, enough time, yeah, enough of their brain power and enough of their personal life into the hobby and, grow up from like zero to WTC level in 1 year. No one is limiting you. Yeah.
Yeah,
But what we really feel is the way forward is to form, yeah, a small community around WTC preparation. It will be effectively an extension of the Warhammer competitive community that we have. Yeah. And this community will grow together. Yeah. So we have players with WTC experience. They are ready to share it. They are ready to teach other people, involve them. Yeah, and as I said, in a few years, I want to have like 16 players which are WTC level. But this also means there's like 3 times this number of other competitive players who are like part of the whole, affair and like movement and, joining the tournaments and join the competitive games. Yeah. And, switching on and off because like this year you have your kids, like next year you have a little more freedom because they grow up and go to school and so on.
yeah,
Yeah, so life changes and the whole process is quite long. I call it marathon. It's really a
yeah.
marathon type process. So you have to kind of plan your effort, you have to endure, yeah, and you have to then concentrate on the finish line.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's actually an important point that you bring up. It's not everybody's, there's only 8 people going to the WTC, but for those 8 people, they need to practice, they need to get games in. And this is important also, even if there's people on the other, they need people on the other side of the board. And this is also where the community probably comes in.
That's true. I must say, yeah, huge, huge thank you to everyone who supported us this year because we really felt that. I mean, we didn't have a big chance to, to give back, yeah, on all this support because we were like super concentrated on games. We didn't have a coach and all this stuff, yeah. But this year it was really encouraging, empowering, and it really helped. Yeah, like personal messages which I got, discussions in the community on like how we are proceeding, just, words of support, like even emotions of support,
Yeah.
those like, hey, under any message. Yeah. So that was huge help.
So we come on to maybe one of the things that people also need to know about or ask about, and that's the cost of this thing. It's obviously not for free. What would people, in terms of getting to the WTC, what do you think about in terms of costs? What are the costs that, I mean,
Mhm.
we're not in a hobby that's cheap as to start
Mhm.
with, but getting to the WTC is obviously on a whole different level, eh?
Yes, and this is expensive.
Hmm.
I must be open here. So let's just go through the things you kind of need to care about in terms of costs. So there's always indirect costs, which is like collecting your army, and then there's a like balanced data slate. So you have to buy and paint like urgently some models to
The new
make your army
terrain fix or
competitive.
something, yeah.
Yeah, something. This is indirect costs, but direct costs, let's just count. So this year the WTC was held in Austria and it's August, so it's mid of holiday season. There are no cheap tickets available. So I think we paid between 4 to 5, even 600 euro. So if I switch it quickly to shekels, that's the range of 2000 shekel for the flights only. Then the event itself, it's 4 days. Yeah, so it means it's 6 nights stay in the hotel. Just because of the schedule, you have to arrive one day earlier and then go one day later. Also the vacations you're taking from your job and also from your family. So you
Um,
need like a personal allowance for
you
that.
need to build up the hours.
Yes, yes. So, but 6 night stays in the hotel. Like in Austria, we were in a reasonably cheap place. So the night was at the range of 50 euro, which amounts to 200 shekel. That was super cheap. Typical prices in Europe are in the range of 400 shekel a night. Yeah. So that's another part of your costs. Yeah. Then based on this, the
You-
entry fee to the tournament is just, another 400 shekel, which is
so it's
which is
building
fine.
up. Okay.
Yeah, but let's just count. 2,000 tickets, 6 nights plus the fee, it's another 3,000, so 5,000 shekel you already dropped. But you also need, on top of that, all the small and not so small costs for keeping yourself, saturated. So evening dinners, lunches.
Beer is cheap in Europe though, so that's okay.
Yeah, beer is cheap, but lunch is not. So all of these things, put
They add
up.
up in the end, yeah.
Yeah, so I would say you really start with 6,000 shekel. And then it can go up. Like last year, we had a huge problem where the flights were canceled last moment because of the like
Other situation, yeah.
yeah, another peak, like situation here in Israel. So we had to buy some last moment tickets, which was like some crazy costs. But if you look at it from the other way round, so when you have 8 players and even one of those is not arriving, you are effectively like you're losing all your games.
Hmm.
So being at the event with one automatic like loss, which is like 0.20, is like a downside which you will not probably recover in at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the kind of it's not really should, it must be 8 players. Yeah, and this is also the reason the coaches are there. Because one of the advantages of having coaches, they are allowed to step in
You fill
for
in, yeah.
any, for any player who cannot play for whatever reason. They have to play the same army in the list, so
Okay.
it's not switchable. But someone gets sick, someone has like real life issues last moment, There's a coach available to just, pick his
And
under.
it happens because even
Right.
the top, I think even Team Sweden, I think, had a issue like this. So one of the top teams, I remember actually one of the coaches stepped in and played.
Yes,
So
yes.
it's not just Team Israel, small team, like even everybody can have an issue like this.
Of course. I mean, every team goes through the preparation process. They find their top eight, which is like not only the best players, it's also the best chemistry against those players, the best combination of, armies and so on. And then when you have one detail, yeah, one important detail falling out, yeah, it is a problem. Yeah, and
Yeah,
it can happen. Yeah, it's all real life with 500 people attending. There's a chance that something will happen to someone. Yeah.
yeah, of course.
Yeah, I
So I
mean,
think one of the things that like there's a lot of the competitive side and getting onto the team competitive, but I think you mentioned something there that might want to like dig a little bit into is the chemistry within the team. So you can have like the top guys playing, but if sportsmanship or if the chemistry isn't right, I mean that's also maybe an issue to get onto the team. So I think sportsmanship and being a good opponent is also super important to get onto the team.
that's true. So this year it was very, very visible. Yeah. So in the pod stage, we got ourselves beaten 3 times. And first time with Team States, it was more or less expected.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we were mentally prepared for that. We were not looking for any kind of win there. We were also planning for a kind of all-out attack to, kind of scrap some points from them. So losing was not an issue, but there were some good sides to this match because we even made 2 wins, which were
Mhm.
nice. Yeah, so we had things to talk about, and we were not going out of this match as completely beaten. Yeah, so we had our like proudness intact. Then Denmark. With Denmark, we could hope for a draw. Yeah, and we were really close to that with only a single game result that could shift the whole situation. But once again, we were beaten, and it was a very hard matchup. Yeah. And then Bulgaria. With Bulgaria, we once again could hope even for a win. Yeah. We were not up to par for that. So look at it this way. We got 3 times beaten heavily. But what happened internally in the team? We were supportive of each other. We talked about ups and downs. We had things to share which were really good in those matchups. Yeah. And instead of kind of dissolving and being kind of on the downside, we put ourselves up. Yeah. We kind of get ourselves together. We talk it through, and then we never lose again in the rest of the tournament. So there was 5 games, 4 wins, 1 draw, which is a like crazy good result.
Wow.
It really happened
So
just because.
that's like the team spirit really coming out and coming to the fore. Eh?
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, in a way, we get to the bottom of it after 3 games, but we were able to recover, and we were really on the wave, if I may say so. That on the very last game, that's the seventh game, that's like everyone is super exhausted. But our opponents were exhausted, and we were
You
still
guys were
kind of
still like
holding,
fine. Yeah.
holding, yeah. And that was super important. I mean, someone might say we didn't have the best players in Israel on the team, yeah, but we had
The best team.
best combination of players for this event, which allowed us to really get a memorable result and actually memorable path. It's not all the one thing I would want to mention here, and if you allow me, the whole experience is really not about the result. It's about the path you take and the way you take it. Yeah. So I come out of this event with actually seven, and frankly speaking, 13, because also the War Masters event, just new friends, which I keep in touch with. I like text them occasionally about their like Warhammer journey. I know already some personal things about them, like I'm going to congratulate tomorrow one of the guys I played with because he has a birthday and
Uh,
all these things. So this makes the social part makes the event memorable for you, yeah, and also you can take it, with a grain of salt, but it is important what the other people talk of you. Yeah,
yeah.
because the first year when we were at WTC, someone approached me and asked, like, are you really the Russian team in disguise?
Uh,
Because we were Team Israel, and like someone somewhere told them, like, ah, yeah, it's just a Russian team in disguise, like under like a different flag. I told him, man, that's two people there who has, I mean, really have Russian origin. Yes, that's
yeah.
no secret. Yeah, but we're all like Israeli citizens. That's we represent Israel here.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, so this has flipped over completely in the next 2 years. So we are now a team which is known. Yeah, I think that's a huge part due to effort of Door, like representing us, yeah, in front of the captains and WTC organization. And this is something I will need to, match at least, which will be
Take
a
the
stretch
baton
for
and
me.
run forward with it. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so we have our character. Yeah, we have our respect right now. Yeah, people know us. And I think after this year, we also have shown that we're a tier 4 team that cannot be just, waved aside. So we can cause problems.
Yeah, 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 definitely. Nice. Well, I think those are all the questions. I think I've also kept you for over an hour now, chewing off your ear. And so if there's anything you want to add or anything you want to maybe bring up, this is the time. So
Yeah, I want to really underline, yeah, so that I don't see WTC Team Israel, yeah, as some separate body in the community. Although we naturally have to, cut some of our discussions, which are like event focused, to a closed group. But I would really love to be in a situation where our like competitive community, all of those people feel part, yeah, of the team path towards the event. And I totally accept, yeah, there are people who are like not looking for competitive play of Warhammer. And
mhm.
this is fine. And this is another way to approach the game, yeah, and your own experience and so on. Yeah. I'm not saying that I'm myself like, playing in a way that, yeah, I roll the dice, I beat you, done, thank you. Yeah, good game. No, this is not a good game. A
This is
good game.
only when you play against me. That's how it works.
Ah, I hope this is a joke, but
No, no, no. I'm just saying, I've always had good games against you. That
yeah,
is
yeah,
just
but really a good game for me is that even if I beat you to a pulp, yeah, and this happens just because I play better, first of
skill
all.
level. Yeah, it's
And
skill.
second, I can explain to you like why this happens, what you need to do differently. So you come out of this game not with the feeling you're like, you're shit and I'm a king, but more like with the feeling, yeah, there's a way for me to improve. I
Mhm.
can do that. Yeah, I need to do certain things different that will be like my immediate improvement. I can do other things different, but I need to train and work on that. And it's not a closed door. It's an open path.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is the feeling I want, like actually everyone to have going out of the game. Yeah. And when I see I'm playing someone who is not at my level, I will really tone down myself a little bit. I mean, I don't have to beat everyone to pulp. Yeah, that's not about my like personal satisfaction about like getting 20-0. So, once again, it's about like getting a nice game where my opponent will, walk out uh, inspired in a way. Yeah, I mean, losing is always, not an easy thing. Yeah, but winning in a good way, yeah, it's part of the competitive spirit. Yeah, winning in a good way. So this is something I want all of us to be aware of and try to make it our like motto or like even duty sometimes, yeah, to help other people improve, give them the feeling of the open door, not really the like not the humiliation, yeah.
Yeah,
And in this way, we can all really prosper. Because for me, the WTC itself, yeah, it's a huge experience. It's my huge personal experience, but it's not the ultimate target. The ultimate target is to have Israel competitive community, enjoy the game, have fun, and go on. I think to just finish it off, just 20 years ago, we had a discussion with a very close friend of mine regarding the hobby. Like, what do you want to do in the hobby? What do you want to achieve? And he asked me a question. He asked, like, how many more years do you want to play this hobby? And at that moment, my answer was kind of, I don't know. But then after some time, I understood that it's going to be not 10, not 20, yeah, but actually like 30, 40 years until I can, no longer see the models. Yeah, it's a very long endeavor. And I really want to build around myself a group of people and like community which has a similar target. I want to play this game for years to come and I want to enjoy it and it will be evolving. It may, be thrown out of the window, which happened once, but you will still, the people will not be thrown out of the window. So
yeah,
you will live through this hobby together for like for multiple years.
yeah,
And
yeah.
that's my ultimate target. So this is something I want all of our like listeners to think of and decide for themselves. It's once again, it's not mandatory. Someone can say, okay, I will play this hobby and then I'll find something else which, gives me more satisfaction. That's totally fine. But if those of you who want to stay with this hobby support me in this idea, like playing for years, we will have fun times going forward, guys.
Well, I don't think I could have ended it off any better. As someone who has played against you, you are definitely one of my favorite opponents to come up against. I know that I'm always going to have a good time and learn, which is for me at the moment the most important thing. And you're like the gentleman killer, I know that I'm going to lose, but I'm going to lose in such a fun way. And I think if everybody could just come across, especially the more experienced players, it's such a good way to like play the game, And like you say, we can play until we're old men and we can hardly move the models around. That'll be even better.
Yeah, at that time, I think my children will be able to move the models for me.
Your grandchildren.
Would be.
So thank you very much, Andre. I really appreciate your time that you took out to talk with us. And I look forward to future conversations as we move towards getting towards the 2026 WTC and different things that come up in the community.
That would be great.
Yeah,
I'm also looking forward to that. And yeah, I guess you will have more guests in your show,
definitely.
but I'm looking forward to come back.
So this is also actually a good time if people have questions. If you want to ask questions to Andre, I'll share like the WhatsApp community so that you can get hold of each other and be get involved for those who are not already on the WhatsApp community. And if you've got questions, send them to me, and we can bring them up in future episodes with either other guests. As I said, we're going to try and get Sagi and Sergey on also. And so just send in questions, and that's the best way that we can build up a little bit of a conversation, yeah, in the community in Israel, uh, as we try and build things towards the Andre's vision that he has. So, thank you very much, Andre. Have a great weekend.
Thanks, Hilton. Have a nice weekend and Shana Tova.
Shana Tova, yeah.